Hazel, my joy was introducing Tiante. He was the keynote speaker, the graduation speaker at commencement at Harlan High. And tonight I met people who went to Harlan High or whose parents did. The question that the media never ask and that is never answered is why? Why are so many of our brothers especially walking on the backs of their heels? Why are so many of our young men disconnected? Young men and women, why are there so many Black people in poverty? Black and brown people, especially Black people, have become the face of poverty. But there are more white people in poverty than there are Black people, and poverty hurts, no matter what color you are. And I believe that if the majority of white people saw the numbers of white people who are impoverished, there'd probably be an uprising in this nation. We only get to see poor white people when there's a mining accident. Then you see there are some poor talking white people too with no teeth, just like there are Black people. Why? Because, coming out of enslavement, there were so many barriers to our forward movement, and there still are. When you look at the laws that were put in place, we were 3/5 of a person, Plessy versus Ferguson. You look at the Black codes. People don't know that the Black codes that were started in the late 1800s is what apartheid in South Africa was based on. So Black people were disallowed not just from voting. Black men they had the vote in the late 1800s, but they couldn't go to the polls. We were disallowed from owning property. You couldn't move from one place to another without a pass. There, in our Bill of Rights, there's no right that a Black man had, a Black person had, that a white person had to respect. This is the history of our nation. And we have to own it. We can't be mad at it. It's just the truth. There have been these tremendous barriers to Black progress. And what we are doing is teaching ourselves how to overcome that, no matter where we find ourselves. I live very well. And most of us in here have more than enough. More than enough. But you know what? There is, we talked about it today. We heard Kendrick speak about it, and we heard Leanna speak about it. Leanne, I don't know if she's here. Are you here tonight, Leanne? You are? Stand up, Leanne, and turn on the lights, you all. This is a brilliant sister, like Kendrick, working on her PhD, who's talking about the cellular damage that was done to us over the hundreds of years of enslavement. Please save your coins and go to the motherland. Go to Ghana. Go to the slave dungeons. See what we withstood. A space no larger than this at Cape Coast, where, 20 people would be uncomfortable for any measure of time, but 100 were held, waiting for the slave ships to come back. Low ceiling, concrete floor, stone walls, and a little indentation in the floor so the urine could run out to sea. A little light hangs there now, last time I was there, in the ceiling so that we could see. You go through what? The door of no return. Know the history. Think about people laying in the holds of a ship, chained to one another, shackled at our wrists, at our ankles. The majority of people died on the trek from the hinterlands to the shore. And they didn't want old folk like me. They wanted young people like y'all, young folks, who they could get decades of work from. Emile Césaire, a Martiniquan scholar from Martinique, he said that at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, there's a railroad of bones. The sharks would just follow the slave ships because they knew they'd be fed. People who were ill were thrown overboard. Those of us who could escape jumped overboard. Tethered. 3 months the Middle Passage took, if the weather was favorable. In our menses, in our feces, in our urine, tethered to one another, laying spoon fashion in the holes of the ship. You know who we are? As Bob Marley said, we are the Black survivors. We are the offspring of the strongest people. This is what somebody had to withstand for you to be where you are today. So we are on no one's plantation. I'm here because I'm grateful. I'm in gratitude, Donald. I'm in gratitude that people survived, that my people held on, the folk I come from. I am in gratitude that It's not, 1815 and I'm not on somebody's plantation being raped every night. I am in gratitude. And I say to my sisters, I don't want to hear you speak negatively about a black man for the rest of your life. A lot of our brothers are crazy as we are. Because you can't have lived through what we lived through, and behold, that's what our sister Leanne is talking about. The damage is cellular, and that's the curriculum that Donald and Hazel are working with our mentors. Brothers, please come, because we go from heritage to spirituality, from spirituality to wealth building, from wealth building to nutrition, wellness, exercise, what we should be eating. We go to relationships, how we should talk to one another, make one another precious again. As Audre Lorde said, love, it's been trained out of us. We have to learn how to love one another again. Watch your mouth and mind your mind. You don't know, my sisters, what it means to walk through this America in a black man's shoes. You do not know what it means for people to flinch every time you get on an elevator and don't have on a suit and tie. The kinds of things that black men have withstood. When we were enslaved, that a white man could just come and take your wife, your daughter, your children, rape them before you. And then what would you do? Help to raise that mixed race child. What black men have withstood? Bow down, baby. If that's not your man, don't humiliate him. Let him go. He'll be somebody else's baby. Just let him go. I'm not saying be anybody's doormat. But when you know your history, you look at our brothers very differently. If I wasn't doing this work, you know where I'd be? I'd be on the streets collecting our brothers. That's what I would be. I'm saying to ministers, I said this, where was I? Oh, darn it. Oh, I know, Memphis. In the mayor's office. There was something going on, and I was there, and I was saying, look at this big, beautiful space. It's empty all day. Our sanctuaries, open the doors. And let the wounded come in and have phenomenal speakers like we heard tonight. You are a hero. Speaking life. Don't y'all feel good tonight? Because of all that you heard. This is how we survived. This is how we survived. I don't need to name it. The lynchings, the castrations, breasts being cut off. Everything to show those who were enslaved, you better follow orders, be obedient, or this is what will happen to you. So, this is not the rough side of the mountain. The rough side of the mountain has been navigated. So I'm saying, stop complaining. I'm talking to myself more than I am you. Whining and complaining. I was saying last year, the gala is coming up. That's Tiante speaking at the last gala, and he spoke to the one before, and we have another one that's coming in. Nate, I hope you will be there. It's January 29th. And the tickets are real expensive. $1,000 a ticket. We have a few that we can give to some people who don't have the resources for a little less than that. But it's a night in order to take our program and replicate it across the nation. We are in 58 U.S. cities. 58, recruiting mentors, training them, and then deploying them. But the work that's being done here in Seattle is unique. The work that's being done here, creating that wellness healing circle, the curriculum that I just spoke about, those 10 pillars, that's what the brothers are going to get, so that you're going to come out of those trainings feeling fit, focused, organized, disciplined, clear about who you are, your history, and your future. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to fall apart. All those celebrities you saw in that video, they all have tears on their pillow. Because your name is Barack Obama doesn't mean you don't struggle, you don't suffer. Because your name is Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton, that doesn't mean that because your name is Donald Trump and you're rich, it doesn't mean that you're well. A lot of us are unwell. He is unwell. And I'm not spending my time talking about him. You need to get him out of office, let him go back to his real estate deal, and get somebody in office who really can bridge the what? The gulf, the widened gulf between the haves and the have-nots. And let's just lift up Native American people. What black people lost, African people lost. We lost our country of origin, food waste, culture, history, family, everything dear and familiar to us. When we talk about the pain in this nation, When we talk about poverty, we don't even look at Native Americans. We don't even mention Native Americans. They lost everything. Take your country back? You mean give it back. You mean give it back to those you stole it from. Now, we know that's not going to happen, but let's bow down and there's enough. That's what I want to say. Remember this when you're losing faith and courage. Biting your nails to the quick, and nobody can go into the depths of like, oh, depression, what am I going to do? And pulling my braids out my little extent. Oh, that I forget. You know, I forget what I know, what I've written 4 books about. We're vessels. Didn't you say that today, Anthony? We're vessels. We are vessels. You're earth angels. The Holy Spirit sent you here on purpose with a purpose. You need not fear anything. You only need, everything you need is in the silence, the thing that we don't take. We don't take quiet moments. We're moving from one thing to another, doing 3 things at a time, texting and emailing and focused and, on the kids and the parents. You first. You come first. Before you get out of bed, you have to what? Just be still. And say, we were saying today, Hazel and I, thy will be done. Hazel Cameron was my favorite model at Essence. That's right. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Faith is only hyperbole. It means nothing until you need it. You need faith when you can't pay your bills. You need faith when you get a diagnosis that scares you. You need faith when a relationship is breaking up. But the Holy Spirit has a plan for you. If only you would be still, listen, and then ask this question, which I think is so phenomenal. I don't know if you know Rumi, the 13th century Sufi mystic. He wrote something called The Guest House. He said, every day, there'll be an army of people at your door. There's always somebody coming to disrupt your life. He said, don't bar the door. Don't shutter it. Don't tell them they can't come in. He says, open the door widely. Invite those errant guests in because they were sent from beyond. The drama comes to your life. Oprah was ashamed that she was a mother, that she gave birth to a stillborn. She was ashamed that she had been raped as a child. She thought her life was over when it became public, when her sister shared that. Every one of us has a story. I had early sexual experiences. I'm a Harlem girl. Grew up in Harlem, looking out there for the love that I didn't feel. My parents were there, but they didn't like each other so much, and they didn't talk to me. And I'm a love bug, so I was looking for the love in dangerous places. Brothers, if you have daughters, tell them they are so beautiful, that you love them, that they are precious, that they are smart, and that they can be anything they want to be. And then they won't be looking in wrong places for love. Love them. Even if they're in another city, call them every day. I love you, baby. You are so smart. You are so phenomenal. Fill them with that. Oh, Pastor, I didn't see you here. My Pastor Zachary, stand up and let people see you, please. I love this brother. Thank you. Thank you. I just want you to remember that depression, sadness, all that stuff, that it's part of what being human means, right? It's going to come your way. But it's never come for your punishment, only for your growth. And the question you must ask is this when you're suffering: what have you come to teach me? What have you come to teach me? And then be in silence with that. I'm telling you, you'll be sending me an email. Because the Holy Spirit, it doesn't live in the sky. It is not in the Bible or the Quran or in any book. That's not where the Spirit lives. The Word is the Word. That's good. The words are there and they're motivating. But you're it. You are life itself. God, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever you call the divinity that brought your behind here. You know what I mean? You're it. And it's breathing you. And it's seeing for you if you are sighted. It's helping you to be mobile. It's beating your heart. It's loving you. And it's urging you to grow. That's all. And you're going to struggle. You're going to suffer. You're going to have mountaintop experiences. You're going to be in the valley, like Ian Levan says. And it's all good. It's all good. So be grateful. Fill your heart with gratitude. Everybody in here had a meal or will go home to one. Everybody in here has a roof over his or her head. Be in gratitude, because gratitude makes everything you have more than enough. And when your heart is full of gratitude, you have joy. So I'm saying fill your heart with joy for what you have. Be still. The Holy Spirit will give you ways to make more money. Link arms and aims. And out of those circles, the training that we're doing for our mentors, what Hazel and Donald are doing, what's going to come out of there are business relationships. And you're all going to be building stuff here in Seattle that is Black owned. So I just want to say to you in conclusion, you know, I'm gonna end this with the last stanza of the Black National Anthem. Let's just do that. So repeat after me, okay? And I'll make up a little something at the end. Oh, I love this. You know, it was written by James Weldon Johnson and his brother Rosamond in 1902 in, where was that? Jacksonville, Florida. A little program. Uh-oh. Nate's from Jacksonville. No? Oh, Lord have mercy. You know what? I was saying to them today, I just want y'all to love the kids as much as you love your fraternities and your sororities. That's what I'm aiming at. Yeah, just do that. So here we go. Let's raise the roof. Let's raise the roof. And remember the middle passage. Remember what our people lived through in order for us to even be seated and here today, right? And thank you, Madam President, for inviting us into your home. Thank you. And that husband who loves you. Stand up. He said to me today, oh my God, she's a phenomenal woman. My wife is something else. She's a wonderful, see that? Brothers, that's how we want to be loved. We want to be loved tenderly. We want you to be faithful husbands. We don't want you chasing somebody. We're not going to be forever fine, firm, and 22. You know, I'm going to be 72 in 3 weeks, and I'm better than I ever was. Come on now. So you want to learn, my sisters and brothers, learn to love goodness. Learn to love goodness, not a big behind, goodness. Sisters, learn to love goodness, not somebody who has a big fine ride or some money in his pocket. You want somebody who's going to love you and be with you when you're 80-something and can't reach around and wipe your own behind. I got you, baby. I got you, baby. You want somebody to love you for who you are on the inside. On the inside. That's where the beauty is. It's on the inside. It's on the inside. Here we go. You ready? Shadow beneath thy hand. Come on, let's raise the roof. Shadow beneath thy hand. Shadow beneath thy hand. May we forever stand. True to our God. True to our native land. No matter where that native land is, whether you are of European ancestry, Asian ancestry, African American, African ancestry, whether you are of South American, Latino ancestry, no matter where your parents, your people came from, learn to love your native land and know that culture, because it's a part of who you are. So shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Repeat after me, I can do this. This I can do. Because I am human and divine. And because God not only has my back, the Holy Spirit is my back. Is my back. God bless you, Seattle. Let's do the work. Let's do the work.
Wow, what a night. Can we give Ms. Taylor another round of applause?